Today we're going to be talking about any sort of business in the game that I'm in, and a conversation I had with a buddy that's in a completely and totally different business, and how somehow it kind of all relates. So I'm going to get into this. For those of you that don't know, my name is Spencer. I'm a 23-year-old out in Phoenix. I have a 9-to-5 job, and I also have a pool service company, aka the point that I'm at is basically a higher or equivalent paying second job. And what that means is, like, I don't have a business. It is solely on me. It's kind of like a business because I operate like that. I have costs. I have to go out and I have to make it happen. I'm not employed by anybody else. However, I don't have employees. I don't have somebody to handle problems for me. I am hands-on for 100% of everything. And the point that I'm at in my business is I'm going to have to go from the 15 accounts I'm at right now to get to 60 to really justify being able to hire somebody that would be like a part-time sort of gig as a pool technician. Because right now, it literally wouldn't make sense. I mean, like, yeah, I could make a couple $100 without doing anything, or I could just not be lazy and, go out and do the pools myself. And it's only 2 days a week, so I still have plenty of time for marketing, meeting with new customers, signing them up, dealing with problems, side jobs, that sort of thing. So it's like, I don't have the cash flow to justify hiring somebody. And this buddy that I was talking to, he runs a company that, has to deal with distributing things to different, let's say, gas stations. So with this, his problems is a whole different set of problems. And we were talking about the roadblocks that we're currently facing right now. And I was telling him about how I'm going to have to push from 15 to 60, maintaining it while maintaining my job to justify being able to hire somebody. And I feel like once I get to that point, then I'm going to be like, dude, oh my gosh, this is really running, this is good, and it is good, but it's going to deal with a whole different set and subject of problems, which is going to be things like if this guy needs PTO, if he calls out, if he just up and quits, he gets tired, customers complain because it's two different people servicing their pool, and maybe he doesn't do as good of a job, or he's not as clear and communicative as I am about different things with pools, etc. There's a whole different level of problems that will get unlocked. And that's something that you have to just get cemented in your head, because with wherever you're at, if you're like myself and you're kind of you're on level 2, let's say. Level 1 is I want to do this. I have no motion and I don't know what to do. I need help. I need anything. And then level 2 is okay, I have a second, higher paying job. Level 3 is okay, I need help because I have so much demand for my service, my product. I need help. I need people. I need a team. And just starting to build that, being able to lead people is for anything cleaning service. You could call it low skilled labor, right? House cleaning, car detailing. There's some skill in there, but it's not you're managing a construction plant or construction site or something like that, if that makes sense. Okay. But that's kind of a side point. So I'm talking with him and he's saying, yeah, and after we can get these accounts, when I heard about it 2 weeks ago, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, we'll make, X amount of profit. And then the thing comes where he has to go and talk to these people in 2 weeks, and the 2 weeks is today. And then he's like, oh yeah, well, you start running numbers and you're like, my, distributors and manufacturers and all this. And it's okay, well, this is how much we're truly coming out with profit. And this is going to have to go right back into everything. So it's it's kind of just you have to stay in the game, because your problems are never going to end. Eventually, you're just going to get bigger and better problems. That's the conclusion we came to. Eventually, over a long enough time, you're going to get bigger and better problems that are harder, more difficult, but they're way more worth solving. And those are what's really going to propel you to get to the next level. Otherwise, you're never going to get there if you don't go through the less meaningful, the annoying, the back and forth problems, the ones that are just pretty much just a grind, ones that literally are oh wow, I could just not do this, or I really don't want to do this, or there's not a big payoff. These problems that are in the future have a way higher payoff, and they're so much more worth it, but you got to stay in the game for that time. And it's not really a time frame, it's like the amount of work. If you can compress it, some people are able to take off things in like a year or two, you know? Other people, it takes like 8 years. So it's really just about compressing that problems and just getting to the next thing, you know, keeping it rolling, staying in the game, AKA. So that's all I got for you guys. I'm kind of running dry on some thoughts, but that was pretty much the conversation is, dude, you just got to stay in the game with whatever you're doing. Number 2 is the problems are never going to end. In fact, they're probably going to get worse, but they're going to be more worth solving. And so that's what's going to keep you in the game for longer. And then obviously it gets to a point where it is really worth it and you're pretty hands off, because like if you can disappear for 3 or 4 months, your business is still running, then that's when you have a business. And that's when you've actually, I would consider, made it. Regardless of profit, regardless of problems, if you can step away for months at a time and your business is just as good as you left it or slightly improved, I believe that's when you truly have a business. Otherwise, you have a startup, you have a second job, you have a hustle, you know, you have something like that. That's what I would call it. I wouldn't consider that I even have a business. I'm not at that point, but it can turn into a business. So if you did enjoy the video, like, subscribe. Guys, we are almost to 200 subscribers. 200 subscribers. I think that's absolutely insane. I appreciate the love and I appreciate the support, dude. This dude left a comment on my video. Shout out to you. You know who you are. Made my freaking day. And I'm really, really just excited for this journey, dude. Like I love doing YouTube, and I'm just kind of communicating my problems about what's going on in my business. So anyways, guys, peace, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.